Right. Let me kind of summarize for the group if I can. Sometimes just getting in the door and getting the interview would be great, you're thinking, but I'm not getting the interview. I'm getting the door shut before I even get to see a person or talk to a real person. And sometimes those issues may be your credentials don't exactly line up, or maybe you're overqualified, maybe you're willing to step back. That's where networking is your best way to find a job. To come to events like this, to share. Now, I'm trying to get my foot in the door in this organization. Who do you know? Do you know someone in HR? Do you know someone in the area that I would like to work? And to have someone connect you to the right person is always better than sending in an electronic resume. Always, always, always. So work your network and see if you can, through your connection of friends, through networking events, find someone who can connect you with the right person. Because I do agree, it's really tough sometimes just to get the interview. So do the networking to open the doors, because it's few and far between that we get invited in for an interview just because of the electronic resume that we've sent in. Great question. Good. Another question. Yes?
Do you have some tips on phone interview where you don't have that, it's all totally kind of no nonverbal communication, no eye contact?
Right. Phone interviews are really tough because you don't have that visual feedback. You're not seeing when they're drifting off and they're getting bored. What I would suggest you do is, first of all, you can lay out all your paperwork there, so you have all your notes and your ideas in front of you, so you don't have to be shuffling through papers. Lay them out before the interview, and review your resume and so forth before. Have rehearsed your interview questions. And what I would suggest, especially on the phone, is keep your questions brief. Sometimes I will say, now tell me, what brings you to me today? What interests you about this opportunity? Some kind of broad question. And sometimes folks go on 5, 10, or more minutes. I want a brief summary. I'm looking for high level, and if I want more information, I will ask for it. So that's maybe one of the best tips I can give, is keep your answers fairly high level and don't give excessive information, because you may be talking yourself out of that next step in the process. So keep it high level, keep it short, and then you might even want to say, does that tell you what you need to know at this point? Have I given you enough information? Because what I'm wanting to do on a telephone screening, and I do those all the time in my work, I'm really wanting to see, is there any real obvious reason that I shouldn't invite this person in? So many times the person talks themselves out of the next step, as opposed to me discovering it. So keep your answers high level, broad, and ask if that was enough information. Okay? We have time for maybe one more? Yes?
What should you do when you have a gap in your resume because you're unemployed? How, it's going to show up on your resume that you
Well, not necessarily. The question was a gap in your resume. Depends on how you craft your resume. Some folks have real logical sequence of events, and they're all real close, and it shows, there's nice sequential movement. Then a chronological resume serves you best. If you've had some gaps because you've been out raising a family, or you've just been unemployed, or for whatever reason, or you even jump around from industry to another type of role, and I see this with a lot of folks mid and late career, then you may want to move to a functional resume, which highlights your core competencies, and then at the very end just details the different employers. And I would even say related employment experience, and just list the employers and the roles that you've had. So you can choose a resume that best depicts your background, and I would suggest that in some of these situations where it's not truly sequential, or you've had gaps, or you've been jumping from some different interesting roles to another. Great question. Yes?
Could you address the issue of going from a higher paid job to a job that's not going to pay?
Yes. The question was, you're asked in the interview, gee, your last salary was quite a bit more than what we are able to pay. how do you answer that? What I would want to say is perhaps you've made a real change. You've made a real leap. Maybe the job that you had before is no longer there. It's an obsolete job. Those skills are no longer needed in the workplace, in the marketplace. They're not valued as they once were. The pay isn't there. You should be able to explain, gosh, I've done my homework and I've discovered that really these jobs are obsolete now. I'm going to have to recraft my value in the workplace. I'm willing to come in. I've calculated that I can meet my payments and be very comfortable on this salary, and this is what I'm interested in doing now. So you should have good explanation for why you're willing to take a step back in either job responsibilities and or in pay, and just have a good logical answer for that interviewer when asked about those questions. Do we have time for any more? Nope, we're all out of time. But I will be around for the rest of the day. I think that getting a good job is the hardest job you'll ever have. But I also believe that when you find a job that you truly love, you'll never have to work another day in your life. Have a great conference. Thank you.